the combination of variants in your chromosomes, it's mathematically impossible for it to ever be replicated. And so what the game of life involves is knowing your uniqueness, is knowing who you are, is knowing what makes you weird and what makes you odd.
Always stick to what makes you weird, odd, strange, different. That's your source of power.
I think it's very often good not to fit in. Again, I think that it cultivates your sense of individuality and your sense that you got to push through.
Occupy your niche. Embrace your strangeness, identify what makes you different, fuse those things together and become an anomaly.
The first and most important step is mastering yourself before anything else. But the problem in mastering yourself is a lot of it has to do with gaining discipline. And what I've learned over the course of writing my 7 books and through the course of my whole life is that you master yourself through learning something that you love, that interests you. That's how you develop discipline. To me, the key to life, the key to everything, the key to success is figuring out what you love. I call it your life's task, what you were born to create in this world. Now, of course, the main question is that people ask me is, how do I find that? And the trick in life is bringing out your uniqueness, bringing out what makes you weird, what makes you strange, what makes you different, and leaning into it. And I tell people, often when you were very young, when you were 8 or 7, you actually knew it, but you lost it.
The young people today are so afraid of being different. They're so afraid of being odd. But look at all the powerful people in this world. Look at your Elon Musks. Look at your celebrities in entertainment, in business, in politics. They're one of a kind. You know, even Albert Einstein, there's nobody else like Einstein, there's nobody like Da Vinci. That's where your power lies. And you'll go, oh, but Robert, those are people that were brilliant, that were talented. I'm not like that, I don't have that. Well, you have that potential. It's just you're not putting the effort into it. You were lazy. You want to fit into the group. You want to conform because it's easy. But your oddness, what makes you weird, what makes you different, that is who you are. Those are signs from deep within, from your core, from your soul. And if you lose that, not only are you not going to be successful in life, you will also lose yourself. You're a mystery to yourself. You don't know who you are. You have patterns of behavior and you're not even understanding that. You don't know why you're angry. You think you're angry because that person said something mean to you or did something wrong. But in fact, your anger probably stems from things from deep within, from your childhood. And you're not reacting to that person, but to actually your parents and what they didn't give you. The origin of wisdom, according to the Greeks, was know thyself. And I believe that very firmly, that knowledge about who you are is an end in itself and will help you in so many ways become that human being that I think we all have the potential to become.
Number one question I get is from particularly younger people saying, I don't really understand what my life's task is. I call that master your life's task. Please help me, Robert. You have to be patient. It's not going to come like a light bulb in your head. I was meant to do this. I was meant to write the 48 Laws of Power. That's not how it works. So I like to tell people to go back to their early childhood memories of things that really excited them before they got mixed up with parents and teachers and all that, other people telling them stuff.
Your purpose in life is something that you're born with. It's like your destiny. This is what you were meant to accomplish. But we humans are not born with that purpose engraved in our heads. You know, animals don't wake up and go, what am I going to do today? I can go here. I can hunt for this animal. I can hunt for that animal. I can eat this. No, they don't. They operate by instinct. They have a purpose. It's automatic almost. We have to find our purpose. And because it's so deep and it's so important that if we don't find it, we'll find it somewhere else. We need something to live for.
You should just be yourself, not because it will make you more likable, it won't, but because it's only by being yourself that you'll find people who like you for who you really are rather than someone you're pretending to be. That's from Gwynder Bogle. And this was one of the biggest realizations of my 20s. The advantage of doing this thing where you sort of push off who you really are is that no criticism will ever fully land because you're 1 degree removed from the person who's being criticized. The disadvantage is that you're also removed from the person who's being complimented. And if you're only playing a role, you never fully feel connected to the successes that you have in your life. Any accolades or warmth that you receive won't resonate properly in your heart because it's not you who's receiving it. It's the character that you're pretending to be.
passion is not an input, passion is an output. We're all passionate, we're just not all passionate for the same things, and we will feel what we call passion when we are involved in something that is deeply personal to us, that is helping us advance some higher purpose or cause. Then when we go to work, what we experience is passion. But if you make us do something that we feel no personal connection to, that is not us helping advance any kind of bigger ideal, then what we feel is stress. Now, passionate people work many hours, they don't come home, they miss their families, they take business trips, they don't sleep, and yet it feels worth it. People who are stressed go on business trips, they miss their families, they work long hours, they don't sleep, but it doesn't feel worth it. Passion is an output, not an input. Like stress is an output, not an input. So you can't do what you're passionate about, you find something you believe in, and what you will experience is passion. So then it begs the question, how do I find what I believe in? Right?
Love your life, right? Find the things that you can enjoy. Be curious. You don't have to have all the answers, but just be curious, because you don't have to have the answers. You don't have to know what you're going to be when you grow up. I'm a hardcore believer that everybody has something that they're really, really, really good at. That could be world-class great. Every single human being on this planet. And the hard part is just finding what that is. And in some places having resources to enable it. But be curious so you can find out what it is.
Everyone's so upset and disappointed they don't know their passion, and I tell them, this is the best day of your life. You get to explore for the next 3 years. Yeah. Just do a bunch of things. I don't know what my passion is, Gary. Good. Spend the next 3 years trying stuff. Take a cooking class, go skiing, play board games, drink wine, drink bourbon, drink sake, eat strawberries, get into sneakers. You're not gonna know unless you try.
So, and if you haven't found your passion, then I would say, well, don't wait around till you find the damn thing, because you may never find it. Is pick something and focus on it, and if you move strongly and forthrightly towards it for a number of months at least, or even a number of years, and then you find, well, that wasn't the thing for you, it isn't going to be a waste anyways, because most of the time, the pursuit of any disciplined knowledge pays off, even if it doesn't pay off in the way that you initially expect. Why did you go become a Navy SEAL? That's a ridiculous thing to do, right? They just torture you to death in the water. Why'd you do it?
Because I wanted to serve my country in the highest capacity possible.
So you believed that there was a highest capacity?
Yes.
Right? So that was an element of faith?
In a lot of ways.
Do you feel that you accomplished something real when you went through the Navy SEAL training program?
Absolutely.
Okay, why was it real?
Why was it real? It was the hardest thing that I've done.
Right. That's right. Yeah. Was it meaningful?
Absolutely.
Was it transformative?
Yes.
And it was the hardest thing you'd ever done. That's the pathway. The pathway to what's most real is through the hardest things that you can do.
Let's go back to that idea of Seneca talking about how slave owners are slaves to their slaves. Seneca also talks about how basically all of us are slaves to something. He talks about this Roman general. He says, Marius commands these armies, but ambition commands Marius. He's talking about how we're all slaves to various things, urges, desires. A lot of us are slaves to habits or substances. There's a story I tell in Discipline is Destiny about the physicist, Richard Feynman. He's the middle of the day, he's running from one class to another, and he just feels this strong desire to get a drink. Why, he thinks? What's that about? Most of all, he's shocked by this feeling. Like, he's not an alcoholic exactly, but he just realizes in this moment the power that alcohol has over him. And he doesn't like it, and he sort of quits cold turkey. There's another story I tell about Eisenhower. Eisenhower is like a 4-pack-a-day smoker for most of his adult life, has a heart attack. His doctor tells him, you gotta stop. So he says, I gave myself the order to quit smoking. And he does, right? It had been a 40-year habit, but his health was on the line. His ability to be of service was in jeopardy. He realized he was not in command. The habit was in command. So he put an end to that right then. He says the only way to stop is to stop. So he says, I stop. Look, no one can make you do this stuff. I think you want to be very suspicious and skeptical of anything that has that power over you. I once heard addiction described as when you lose the freedom to abstain. So when you have trouble, like Feynman did, of not doing a thing that you don't really need to do, that compulsion That's what the Stoics want us to sort of see as like almost a cancer or a form of slavery, and to eradicate it, to get rid of it. And so as you go into spring, let's think about what we're hooked on. You know, what do you like when you don't have that cup of coffee? What do you have trouble doing without? What is taking from you the freedom to not do it? And how can you reassert that freedom and power by deciding not to do it, by eliminating its power over you? And for some of us, that process is going to be more formal and serious than others. You know, sometimes, hey, I'm not going to buy that junk food anymore. I'm going to go to a meeting, or I'm going to start a treatment program. The specifics are for you. But I think spring is a great time to do a quick evaluation of what is in command, what is in control of us, what is taking our freedom, and decide to reassert that power and self-command.
Because a lot of the problems that you have in life, you can't really control yourself. You're subject to all these emotions, these moods, these things that grab you, that obsess you, that possess you. Your mind has these recurrent thoughts. You have no self-control, and it drives you crazy. You have a habit you want to get rid of. You take some program, some class, and 3 months later, you're back at it. What is it? So the sense that you can control yourself to a degree, and the sense that you can have some influence over people, is power. And the more you have it, the greater the feeling you have, because you can avoid that helplessness that makes all of us kind of crazy.
The human mind is not made to stay at one place at one time. The commitment knows it. That's why we give it. This is why we say, okay, I commit to it. Because I know that hard times will come, that I will find excuses why not to make it, that I will have days I'm not in the mood to practice it. I know these times are going to come, but this is why you do the commitment.
Don't try to control your emotions or thoughts, because the very nature of your mind is such that I don't want to think about this person means that's the only person I'm going to think about for the rest of my life. So, when compulsive thoughts and emotions come, first and foremost thing that you do is, you simply see them for what they are. You don't try to resist them. The moment you resist, they will multiply. In this mind, you don't have subtraction and division. You only have addition and multiplication.
Someone can tell you your whole life you're a piece of crap, and you can say, screw you, read between the lines and make your life work. Someone tell you your whole life you're beautiful, you're intelligent, you're the smartest person in the world, and you don't believe it. Because self-esteem doesn't come from what people say about you. Self-esteem is earned within yourself. It's esteem for yourself, which only comes by doing things that are incredibly difficult, and then your brain goes, this is who I am. There's 3 P's that you gotta annihilate, crush, or destroy if they're getting in the way of your progress in a relationship, or your career, or your happiness, or your health. These are the 3 P's that make learned helplessness. Number 1, you think the problem is permanent. Once you've had enough disappointment, sometimes your brain doesn't want to get disappointed, so it's a permanent problem. Please write down, no problem is permanent, only your soul is permanent. Nothing's forever. Everything changes, everything eventually ends, and something new begins. That's part of life. Those are the seasons of life. The second P that keeps people in learned helplessness so they don't change, this belief's gotta be annihilated, broken through, and that it's pervasive. That means that because my relationship's not great, my whole life is horrible. And you're forgetting you do have health, or you do have friends, or you do have a job, or you do have whatever. I can breathe. And the third one is we think the problem is personal. There's something wrong with me. And if you start believing that, it becomes self-fulfilling. You give up. See, I'm not good enough, I'm not beautiful enough, I'm not smart enough, I always screw it up. So those 3 P's gotta be destroyed.
Don't judge people as far as who are you going to let into your life. Don't be deceived by the appearances. Don't judge people based on their intelligence, on their charm, on whether they're good or bad, etc. Judge them on their character, whether they have a weak or a strong character. A weak character is somebody who cannot take criticism. That is probably the number one characteristic, the worst trait I think in people, and a definite trait of negativity, is somebody who can't take any kind of criticism. They're so defensive. So that means they can get away with anything. They can say anything they want. There's just like a wall, a shell around them. A strong character is a person who can take criticism, who can work with other people, who can deal with stressful situations, who can handle responsibility. And if there's something goes wrong, they take I am to blame for it. They don't look at other people. There's somebody you can rely on. You lean on them, and there's something there to lean on. You can rely on them in situations. Is an incredibly useful and powerful trait to me that reveals strong character.
People wonder, well, what's the meaning of life? Like, what's it all about? What justifies the suffering and the misery and all of that? It's like, well, that's what justifies it. It's like you put yourself up against that. You think, okay, with all of this pushing against me, how much can I push back? Could I move the horror an inch back with all the strength that I have at my disposal? Man, and the answer to that is, yeah, you can. It makes you better with regards to yourself, but it also makes the world a better place.
You are beginning to understand, aren't you, that the whole world is inside you, in your perspectives and in your heart. That to be able to find peace, you must be at peace with yourself first. And to truly enjoy life, you must enjoy who you are. And once you learn how to master this, you will be protected from everything that makes you feel like you cannot go on. That with this gift of recognizing yourself, even when you are alone, you will never be lonely.